The thorough removal of membranes is possible only if the meat has been properly jointed first. Here, a top of beef is divided into 4 joints. It's particularly important for the knife to follow the membrane. First, we remove the top side, then cut the salmon cut out of the silver side. The silver side is then divided into its component cuts. Here we see one of the most highly prized cuts being removed. Here, too, expert cutting is essential. One of the most important preparations for membrane skinning is fat removal. Here's a brief demonstration of how the worst of the fat is removed from the silver side. Here, the inner tendon is exposed with the MAJA membrane skinning knife. This is particularly advantageous because it's only sharpened on one side of the blade, so it does not cut into the membrane or the tendon, and neither does it damage the muscle. Here, a subsidiary cut is removed. The top side, one of the largest joints in the top, is prepared for membrane skinning. Small cuts from the top side are prepared for the EVM 3500. Here, too, you can see how well the MAJA membrane skinning knife exposes the membrane without damaging the muscle. This also limits fluid loss from the meat after membrane skinning. As ever, fat removal is essential for a good result. The interior tendons are exposed so they can be removed by the machine. Smaller pieces of fat are removed from the top side, and the inside is quickly inspected to ensure a good membrane skinning result. Here is a very clear demonstration of how gently MAJA membrane skinning machines treat meat. A small cut from the top side is skinned. This improves the quality of the cut so it can be used as flash fry steak or even for steak tartare. The quality of this top side cut, certainly one not often found on the butcher's slab, is also improved. The top side from which the fat has been removed, particularly here on the inside, is now processed by the EVM 3000 and 3005 membrane skinning machines and is now ready for sale. Here you can see how rapidly the membrane skinning machine removes even this tough tendon. MAJA machines have a large working surface, which makes it possible to achieve a perfect result with minimum effort. The membrane has now been completely removed from the top side, which is now ready for sale to the wholesale and retail trade, supermarkets or specialist butcher shops. The surface structure of the meat has not been impaired, and the muscle is undamaged, which keeps fluid loss to a minimum. The thick flank, the classic roast. This cut is seen at its best on the butcher's slab. Today's consumer wants beef low in fat and skinned. The demonstration shows how a practiced hand cuts along the seam with the MAJA membrane skinning knife to produce the individual cuts. As we've just seen, this is very significant. The separation of the individual cuts, or here the thick flank, into large and smaller pieces is demonstrated in detail. The exposure of tendons, especially of internal tendons, is always advantageous when butchering beef, veal, and pork. Exposing the tendons makes it easy to remove the membranes with the MAJA machines. Here is the thick flank in its individual cuts. The internal muscle of the flank is superbly removed by the MAJA membrane skinning machine. The tendons, which can really be called tendons, are also removed very quickly with the machine. This cut can be used for top quality stew or for steak tartare. After membrane skinning, the large flank joint, superb for roasting, is a feast for the eyes on the slab and an ideal roast for the home or for catering establishments. Experienced cooks want meat like this. For demonstration, here is the flank with the membrane removed. Proper butchering adds value to the salmon cut from the silver side. Once the membrane has been removed with the MAJA machine, a cut which is certainly not always used as stew, steak, or for roasting is good, profitable business. The fat is removed from the silver side, which is then divided into individual cuts and processed by the MAJA membrane skinning machine. This noble cut is also processed rapidly and superbly. Cuts containing tendons are processed in a moment by the MAJA EVM machine and are ready to be sold. This foot-operated safety switch improves the safety of the operation. As with all MAJA membrane skinning machines, the in-feed roller can be cleaned without the use of compressed air. It will always function perfectly. Small pieces of membrane still attached to the meat are briefly applied to the blade and removed. The haunch, another valuable part of the top. Here it's divided into separate cuts. The haunch steak, a favorite cut for quick roasting, quickly has the fat removed and is prepared for the membrane skinning machine. These cuts, with extremely fine fibers, have their membranes removed very gently by the MAJA membrane skinning machine. The membrane constitutes a very small proportion of total weight. The various joints are skinned quickly by the MAJA EVM 3000 or 3005 in a very rapid process. Even the silver side tendon, which cannot really be called a membrane, is removed. Gentle processing, excellent performance, and low weight loss are essential for a good result in both economic and quality terms. The skirt, a cut often used for sausage making. Here's a brief demonstration of how its value can be increased. Cuts separated along the membranes are removed from the skirt and the tendons, and as you saw at the beginning, the fat is removed. These pieces, which substantially increase in value once the membranes have been removed, can then be used in different ways. The skirt can now be sold for use as steak tartare, beef goulash, or for marinating. The surface structure is unimpaired. Moving to pork, we now show you a neck end of loin which is cut up in the standard fashion. Here, too, we expose the fine skin and tendons so they can be removed by the membrane skinning machine. The fillet is a very interesting cut for the membrane skinning machine. Once removed, it can be skinned perfectly. Tough tendons have a very negative effect in the production of ham, Kassler sausage, or when the meat is used as steak. We now demonstrate how quickly the membranes are removed by machine. The production of ham is now unthinkable without an EVM 3000 or 3005 machine. And now, it's a feast for the eyes on the slab. Pork neck end of loin with the membranes removed for use as steak. Now to the pork top. First, we'd like to show you how it can be prepared for display on the slab or for sale in pre-packed portions. The top side cut is removed. The cut follows the membranes, so it's exposed. How the cut is made is immensely significant. Because the fine membranes in the pork top are extremely fragile, the MAJA membrane skinning knife is a must. The haunch, or the bacon cut, is divided up for ham. The dark meat is removed from the other cuts. It contains many tendons, which must be removed to produce good ham. Fat removal. It's the machine's forte. Small pieces still attached are removed. Here's the bed piece. The adjacent cut is quickly removed and the edges trimmed. This can also be done extremely quickly. Of course, it takes practice to work this fast. Exposing the inner muscle of the pork bed piece. This dark area is exposed or can be entirely removed for use in ham. We entirely remove the muscle of the silver side because we will have a different flavor in the finished product. The tendon is exposed so it can be very quickly processed by the machine. The silver side is either put on sale or, as shown here, prepared for ham. The inner tendon is exposed and completely separated from the thick piece. Here, the exposed tendon is clearly visible. Any back fat is removed. Thus, the cut is ideally prepared for the MAJA membrane skinning machine. All the cuts at a glance. For ham production, or in this case, the top side for cutlets or a quick roast. When prepared for membrane skinning, this meat is especially well suited for use in a stew or cut into strips, stroganoff style. The smallest MAJA membrane skinning machine, our entry-level EVM 1000, demonstrates how gently our roller-based technology handles the meat it processes. Pork cuts such as the filet or the top side are superbly processed by this skinning machine, MAJA's smallest. The membrane is very quickly removed from the top side, the classic cutlet, for display or for ham production. The inner tendon is also removed quickly and accurately. The silver side with its thin layer of fat is also no problem for the MAJA EVM 1000. The proportion constituted by the membrane proves how economically the various cuts have been skinned. The SRA 8000 is the world's first fully automatic membrane skinning machine for round-shaped cuts. Cuts are continuously delivered for processing by a cyclically operating in-feed conveyor. This is electronically controlled. The operating elements, located beneath the processing level, are protected from spray. Separate programs can be made available for each cut. This further development of our manual membrane skinning technology is intended for industrial use. At a glance, meat displayed for sale, its membranes removed. Here too, the small entry-level EVM 1000 shows how meat is processed for sale. A display counter in a specialist butcher's shop in Offenburg proves the significance of MAJA technology.